Hi, it's Rich and Agvila, and we're going to talk about the importance of things in your life and in our lives, and how the order of importance is changing. What's the priority today? What was it last week? What was it the week before? What's it going to be in a week or two or a year from now? Uh, we've noticed as reality changes so quickly, our what's important changes real fast. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And Agvila, what are some of the things that you find important, generally speaking, nowadays?
Ah, I'm gonna go straight into not answering your question, but
Okay. Yeah.
more like, I don't know, like it's a great subject because I know, like, let's say when I was 18 and 19, there were so many things going on in my life where I had just tons of physical or like, psychological, emotional issues. I was triggered a lot, like a lot of shit happened in my life. And back then the importance was like, oh, we heard of soul contract revocation. What's that? And then learning that there are a bunch of things controlling our lives and the decisions we've made and from the past and everything else. So back then was sort of like constantly working on myself, like getting rid of things that are limiting me. And then, with my abilities getting better, practicing, I started seeing entities. I started seeing like tons of things and turning on more, like allowing myself to get there, right? Because like I can turn it on and off, and I would choose to have it off because it's just overwhelming to be around people and seeing all their crap floating all over the place. So like I'm like, no, thanks. But like confronting my own stuff, I have to confront others as well. And learning about reptilians and grace and the soul traps and tons of other things going on, it was like, okay, working on myself and then helping out others with that. And it's been quite a few years like it. But nowadays I'm seeing that the better and the more I work on myself and the more I take care of myself, it's like it's not like my life is amazing and everyone should be jealous and everything else. It's like quite the opposite. I'm learning from my own experience that like I let go of a lot of stuff and I'm not getting as triggered as I used to. All the things that used to get in the way and really set me off on a like emotionally explosive and everything else. Like I'm so much more in control of my reality currently. And that's constantly like, physically working on myself, but also like all the spiritual stuff like I've been doing. And now it's just like my health and taking care of myself and not going too much into, let's say, the bigger stuff that's like promoted by media, the whole COVID or Ukraine and Russia and everything else that is big that they want your attention. I'm like more like myself, my little reality. But from that, what I focus on, I can constantly attract and manifest better stuff. So that's me right now.
All right, good.
What about you?
Well, yeah, it's changed over the years. Used to be one of the biggest priorities for me was getting out of body. So I worked on that and I got successful with that. But then things changed and it got a little bit of a health thing going. This is back like 20, 30 years ago. And then it got into release work and entity work, but I'd go through phases. And so I'd get kind of focused on one thing and another. Then it became really important when YouTube popped up on the scene to share what I knew with others. And so that was pretty important for a really long time. And then the world started changing, like in the last few years, it's like, oh my God. So it was really important to tell others about what's going on in the world and my perception of it and my thoughts about, what's true and what's fake and all that stuff. And so that was really important. I was really getting upset and pissed that there were so many lies being spread about life and what's going on. And most recently, that's changed to more about myself and my own spiritual work, my inner work, because no matter what else goes on out here in the world, it's ultimately, there's going to be a day when I leave this world and this reality, and will I understand how reality works and what comes next and how can I stack the cards, so to speak, to get the best afterlife or next life or beyond this realm experience that I can get. So inner work. And that moved me into manifestation work, causatively manifesting my reality. I understand how that works. And then most recently, it's gotten into feeling, the priority has been, how do I feel today, physiologically and emotionally and psychologically and mentally and spiritually. So as I accidentally stumbled on the whole stem cell activation thing, and that started making me feel good really fast. So then I took a deep dive into, why is that? Why am I feeling so good so fast? When I've been doing spiritual work and inner work and release work and past life regression work and entity work, all for so many fucking years, and it never touched this weird, always somewhat depressed unless I'm doing something thing. And so my priorities switched into understanding what really makes us feel good. And it's all of that stuff. But what I had missing was I didn't understand that cell damage, as you get older and older, the cellular, everything gets a little bit damaged and older, including the brain, which is responsible for kicking out the happy chemicals, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin. So then the priority changed to understanding how that works and what I can do to feel good, feel energetic and optimistic on a physiological, biological, biochemistry level. Yeah. So that's for me in a fucking nutshell. That's what's happened with me.
But that's great. I mean, like, we've been working with a lot of people lately, and the thing I noticed is that, you know, they want me to look into their past lives or what's going on that there might not be like seeing and all. And behind the curtains, I'm seeing less and less groups that are attacking the world. Like, not that are like we won and there's nobody else left, but there's more and more groups, like let's say hundreds out of few hundred thousands, they're leaving, you know? So like I'm seeing less of our clients being affected by reptilians or grays. Like they want to blame somebody and I'm like, reptilians not on the list, grays not on the list, mantis not on the list. And I'm just going on, you know, the casual, what we used to have a few years ago. And nowadays, it's much more likely humans fucking up humans rather than reptilians or grays fucking up humans. And we work with our clients and like, yeah, entities, like that's everyday thing. We produce entities who want to, like, you get mad, you get frustrated, you have an intention to kill somebody, boom, you have a little thing popping up and it just goes all over the place. But I'm seeing less groups, not that there are not any of them left, but less, you know, to be clear. And that's a good thing. But like, you know, like, as we talk about priorities, some people that are just waking up, they're like, oh my God, and they have this need to share what's going on in the world, and that's their priority. But for us, as we're seeing, you know, like we're changing and there's less of these things happening for us, or at least for me, it's like more personal reality and what you're going to manifest from that. But
yeah, good. My perception of it is that everyone will have a priority, and it doesn't matter what it is. That's the right thing for them to have prioritized as their highest value or interest or focus or needs, and that's okay. I'm just sort of sharing my evolution of it. And I was wondering about people that are watching this. Have your priorities changed, you know, abruptly or rapidly in the last few years? What it used to be, and before that, like, you know, 10 years, 20 years ago, and then has it accelerated? What is your priority, your order of importance? Has that changed much, let's say in the last 2 or 3 years? I'm really curious about that, because I think it probably may have.
Yeah. And I guess with this question, we can end off the video and let people just answer the question.
Yeah. We'd like to hear, you know, what's important to you these days, and what did it used to be, and did it change abruptly, or just kind of gradually schmooze into something, or is it pretty much the same as it's always been?
Yeah, and if it changed, why? You know.
Yeah. Why?
Okay, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Bye-bye.
Bye.